And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you, and a bit of a light week this week. A few big things, though, being announced to talk about in the toy news this week. But of course, as we always do, we started off with a little housekeeping, and we're starting off with the Patreon giveaway for the month of October, the spookiest of all months. And I should have some spooky unboxings later this month as well. Already started some of them, I guess, with the Creature from the Black Lagoon this week with my dad back on the channel here. But we got some videos to do. Stay tuned to those. Check those out when they do hit the channel. But we're going to do our Patreon giveaway, of course. It's a giant, a scary giant, a spooky giant, a smelly giant. Who knows what kind of giant? But Andre the Giant Ultimate Edition is the October giveaway for Patreon members. Check out the Patreon if you want to be a part of the giveaway and all the bonus content Patreon does bring you. But we also had a giveaway to celebrate the brand new YouTube channel, Kyle Peterson 2.0. We're about, 3 weeks into that channel there. Videos every single day over on that channel as well. A lot of videos to come, so stay tuned for all that and a lot of fun stuff, as I've been saying. Once I get done with some business meetings and some things I got going the next month or so, we're going to start a weekly live stream over there most of the time on that second 2.0 channel. So make sure you subscribe to that. You don't want to miss out on some of the stuff that goes down between both of these channels. But we did do a giveaway. And when I say we, I mean me. We did do a giveaway over there on that channel for the Rita Repulsa Super 7 Ultimate Edition here, the brown outfit Rita Repulsa. You had to go over to Twitter for this giveaway, and that's what you had to do to be a part of it, of course. And the winner here was good brother of the week here, Jack DeFranco. Jack DeFranco, you did win this. I will reach out to you. I will get your address, and I will get this to you ASAP. I don't mess around. This will go out probably like same day. The minute you give me the address, bam, it's in the mail. That's the way it's going to be. But I will send you this. Thank you for everybody supporting the channel, following along, both channels, all that kind of fun stuff. I always tell you guys, but it is appreciated, as you guys probably know. So there it is. There's a little housekeeping. Now we got to get into the toy news this week. And like I said, it was a bigger week last week. The ebbs and flows of the toy news is what we got going on here today. But of course, yesterday being Friday, Mattel, Walmart, NECA, Hasbro, you name it, all involved in the Walmart Collector Con event. There was some new G.I. Joe pre-orders up there, some new wrestling pre-orders, that Maya Via 3-pack. We'll talk about that here in a second. A few other things. So check out that Walmart Collector Con. There might be some stuff still up there if you missed out, but that was going on Friday. But this week, too, Mattel did do a reveals of a bunch of different figures, some new packaging, some new sets. That big one was, of course, the LWO Mattel Creations pack that's online only. Very interesting idea. It'll be interesting to see where that goes in the future. I guess we'll look forward to that. But check it out on the channel. I did do a Mattel reveals video. I went through all that wrestling news in that video. So check that one out. I won't labor all that in this video as well. But one thing I did miss out on, and I did talk about it just a second ago, but Walmart Collector Con, they did put up that Maya Via 3-pack, that Maya Via Family 3-pack. Man, what's Mattel doing? Just copying my boys over there at Jack's Classic Superstars. We got it way back in the day. Now we get an updated version here, but that is very, very cool. An awesome set to have your grandpa, your dad, and I guess your son, if you're Rocky Johnson, all of them in the pack together. I think that is a really, really cool set, and it's one of the ways to get the High Chief Peter Maivia and another Rocky Johnson into the line. And of course, Rock, he'll always be in the line, as we do know. And that is a Walmart exclusive. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a Target exclusive, but Walmart exclusive, apparently. We did see that for the first time at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you want that, you got to go over to Walmart to get that pack. But a pretty cool set. Would love to see more family sets like that maybe in the future. We'll see what happens there. But that's really it for Mattel. Check out that reveals video if you did miss it. Jazzware is coming in hot this week, real hot. And I got some cool Jazzware stuff in the future going on. Some things behind the scenes. You never know. You never know. But Jazzware's 1 of 3,000 Eddie Kingston was released this week. I guess I should say images were released. They've been floating around the old interwebs there. And it's a bit of a blood and guts Eddie Kingston, which is unusual. Usually they save that for the blood and guts line. But there can never be enough blood and guts, apparently. That's, I guess, the answer to that one. But Eddie Kingston, 1 of 3,000. Weird with the shirt design. I would have rather just had a plain white shirt. I get they can't use the Yankees logo, thing like that. Almost goes back once again to Jack's Class Superstars, the old Brooklyn Brawler t-shirt. But it does got blood, comes with the gas can, all that kind of stuff. Very cool. A bit of a repaint, as we do know. We're used to that in all the toy lines, especially Jazzwares. But 1 of 3,000 edition. Got to think it'll be for sale. Maybe full gear. We'll see what happens. I guess we'll stay tuned to that. We'll talk about it in the toy news of the week. Also this week, I have yet to find this, but I've been tagged in it a heck of a lot of times. There's a lot of people saying they got the Chris Jericho / Kyle Peterson action figure all in purple, because I'm very dapper in purple. I don't think I own anything except a Shredder shirt in purple. Besides that, I don't think I wear much purple. It is my kid's school color, so maybe that's it. I don't know. But there is a Walmart exclusive Chris Jericho hitting the store pegs right now. Would not be shocked to find that sometime in the next couple of days in my area. I'm on the lookout for it. Really good looking figure. Maybe it's because they say it looks like me. I don't know if it really does, but I'll roll with it. I think I like the looks of it. Some people saying the head sculpt's not quite there. I don't know. I like what it looks like. I like the purple shoes. I like the purple coat. All around, I do like that. So we're going to see where that goes. Got to think it'll be fairly easy to hit at Walmart. We've seen this in the past. But a good looking figure. I like the extra color to this one. But be on the lookout. If you need that Jericho, it should be hitting Walmart stores right now. So be on the look for that. And that's it for Jazzwares. Now we move over to Epic Toys, and one I get asked about all the time, and I don't have anything to do with it, but all I've heard is autumn, which is usually fall, autumn, kind of that time frame. But the Sabu Epic Toys Mattel Elite Jazzwares style figure, finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit. We saw some production pictures here. Nowhere near as far along as all of us would like it to be. It's unbelievable. It's been over a year since we pre-ordered this. We got to get moving. We got to get turning and burning. I know there was some selling of the company, that kind of stuff, some trade over. I get all that. I understand the delays, but nobody likes people sitting on their money for an eternity. And if you're over a year, it's turned into an eternity, because as we all do know, what is time? Nobody understands it. So it is truly an eternity. But hopefully that Sabu's coming. I think they say December now. Fingers crossed on that one. Fingers crossed on that one. But we did get an announcement this week from the old Major Pod crew, the old Major Bendies over there. We do got big rubber guys. And as of the 13th of October through the 27th of October, Macho Man Randy Savage and Andre the Giant, the next big rubber guys, up for pre-order. So if you want those, head on over there right now. Very interesting. Obviously, two heavy hitters in more ways than one. 2-week pre-order window. Not a big fan of that, and I've actually discussed it with those guys when we were at PowerCon. I'm a month-long pre-order guy. I feel like pre-orders should be 1 month. That gives you 2 paychecks. A lot of people, you get paid every other week, whatever. You got 2 paychecks to choose from. I get it. Use a credit card, you can do that kind of stuff. But I always feel like a month is the perfect window for me. Some say, and I think they're saying here, it's 2 weeks. It makes it feel immediate, get after it. But it also, to me, makes you feel like, oops, I forgot all about it. Perfect example, we'll talk about it in a little bit. Beastman, the Mondo Beastman went over just for like a week pre-order or whatever it was. I almost forgot it. I got it the day before it went up. Kept putting it off. People will do that. They will miss out. You have a month. Yeah, there'll be some of that, but not as much of that. And people promote it, talk about it a heck of a lot longer, because after the 2-week window's up, you set it, forget it. Why do we talk about it anymore? The pre-order's over, it's over. A month, you get the pub, you get the publicity of your line, that kind of stuff. But they know better. They're the business. I'm not. I just talk about it from time to time. But 2-week window, 13th through the 27th. Get your Macho Man, get your Andre the Giants. Got to think these will be the biggest sellers yet. Of course, a lot of people want that black Andre, and then the classic Macho Man, playing all the hits in that one. That's going to be a heavy hitter lineup. Demolition right around the corner. Sounds like in the next couple of weeks. Demolition here. Still not sure what I'm going to do about the chase there. I want to be all in. I got to figure out the chases. We'll see what I get. I'll probably get one of them as a chase, one of them as regular, and then I'll be all mixed up and confused what to do with my life. And stay tuned for that. Should be good YouTube watching. We'll see what happens there. Now we're going to turn it to the retro corner of the week, and I was going to have a jingle prepared. I forgot my tambourine. What do you do? Forgot the tambourine. I'll try it next time. We'll get a jingle. We need a little, like, just a 2-second do-do-do, something like that for the retro corner. But the retro this week, all about Zombie Sailor toys. Zombie finally coming out with Series 2. It's been an absolute eternity once again, but it's good to finally have those coming through. I believe mine should be in the door today. We'll see what happens, and I'll start the unboxing on those like we do on the channel. I'm backed up on unboxings. We'll talk about it a little bit later in this video. I have been actually pretty much gone for the last week, which I haven't done that in years, I would say. So I'm a little backed up. I got about 100 and some videos to probably do. Try to get to them. I'll try my best. That's what I'm going to try to do. But we did see Zombie Sailor finally coming through with some of this stuff to be determined on the channel here in the next week or so as I do unbox those. Be ready for that. But we did see some releases because it is New York Toy Fair. I should say New York Comic-Con. I always get those confused sometimes. New York Comic-Con is this weekend as we're watching this. Not a lot of new stuff announced, so far at least, as I'm watching this, or as I'm filming this, I should say. But Smart Mark Sterling, one of 5,000, one of 1,200 out there. They both, I think the one of 500 definitely sold out already. One of 1,200 running down dangerously low. Of course, the power of the major pod compels people. They're picking these ones up. You got two Smart Mark Sterlings for this. You also got Todd Pettengill, an old-time favorite announcer of many out there. Todd Pettengill is the pre-order for that as well. We should see Bastion Booger shipping fairly soon. So things are starting to turn and burn with Zombie Sailor. Where's his Elite style figures? Hopefully that gets going a little bit faster. Hopefully Series 3 gets going a little bit faster. We'll see what happens there. But he also made some announcements, some flyers that people have received their packaging of Series 2. It looks like for Black Friday, Andre the Giant, a variant, is going up. So if you want that Andre, he will be going up $30. Also shows off the Macho Man. Sounds like that's going to go for sale very early in 2024. So Macho Man Randy Savage will be coming to people as well from Zombie Sailor. So a lot of stuff coming. They've been saying repeatedly, and when I say they, Zombie Sailor, things are going to turn and burn a little bit faster. I hope that is the case because we're all fatigued with the waiting game. Tom Petty, he sat me down. I think it was on that couch right over there, if you could see that. He said, Kyle, come over here. Come over here and sit down. And he had me sit right here, and he said, Kyle, I'm going to tell you something, and this is going to go somewhere in your life one of these days. You're going to know when the time hits, you're going to come around, you're going to tell whoever you're telling it to, and this is you guys out there. They're going to say, Kyle, I'm telling you right now, the waiting is the hardest part. And you know what? And then he wrote a song about it shortly after. I might have made that all up right now. I don't know. Somebody can fact check that if they want. But the waiting truly is the hardest part. We're getting sick of it. We're getting sick of the hardest part. We don't mind the waiting, but we hate how hard it is. So hopefully this can be fixed with all of these companies. Every single one of them. We're past those days. We don't want to wait as long. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But those are all coming. And now we're turning our attention over to another retro-style figure, Hastel Toys. And he's over there at New York Comic-Con selling his wares as well. He's selling the retro Nelson and Bobby. Oh, Bobby and Nelson, two of the finest around. But it is variants of the Men on the Mission. We did unbox those on the channel already. These are variants. $150, 2 plastic bags, no carding, anything like that. I could not pull the trigger on it. As much as I'd like to be a completist in that line, it looks like that's just not going to be the case for me because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't justify it. So I just had to pass on those two, unfortunately. Would have liked to have them all, but, you know, it's like a game of Pokemon. You got to catch them all, and sometimes you just can't. As bad as you want to, you just can't do it. But $150, I do like the idea of what he did in the sealed mail-away bags. I think that is very clever, and it's making lemons out of lemonade, or lemonade out of lemons, I guess, is what you're doing there. The problem is, I think they were originally on card backs, they fell off, and this was a way around it. Technically, if they fell off the card backs, that should have been some price. Should have been a little bit cheaper. I really do feel those should have been cheaper as a bag, but of course, exclusive item, limited run, you can argue back and forth. It is opinions, and my opinion it was too much for me. It was too rich for my blood. Couldn't do that. But it is what it is. If you want those, head over to Hastel Toys, pick those up. And then some big heavy hitter news this week. Epic Toys. We talked about their Sabu figure. Now they're retro style figures. Bobby the Brain Heenan coming out of left field. I truly thought we were going to get a Mattel Bobby Heenan. Now that's a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, Cella, or I should say Epic Toys, hard to get used to. Epic Toys has Bobby Heenan. Well, take that business step back. Haven't we seen Greg the Hammer Valentine with Mattel? We saw him with Epic Toys. There's some of these players out there, and apparently Bobby Heenan is most likely one of those that you can get Mattels from, you can get other toy lines from. Wouldn't be shocked to see a Mattel Retro down the line as well from him, but it looks like Epic Toys will have the first stab at Bobby the Brain Heenan. So if you're after that, that pre-order will be coming very soon. Greg the Hammer Valentine finally shipping out. Very interesting one. As we know, there's a Mattel Greg Valentine Retro. Heck, we just unboxed a Greg Valentine Elite. But the Rhythm and Blues, it's coming up all things Rhythm and Blues lately here. But Epic Toys is right around the corner. I did pre-order that, so I will have mine. We'll unbox it. We'll compare it to the Mattel version. There's stuff I like about both, but this one from Epic Toys looks really, really good. So I'm excited to see this one in hand. More to come on that one, so stay tuned to that. But that's it. That's the retro news this week. Now we're turning into a few other different things going on. We're going to turn our attention to, real quick here, New York Toy Fair Super 7 exclusive. It looks like they got a glow-in-the-dark variant, which is Super 7 loves their glow-in-the-dark stuff. I need to get a glow-in-the-dark figure room that I just walk in, it's like blinding. It's in the darkness, but it's blinding because it's all glow-in-the-dark stuff. That's what I need to do with my life. We'll see if I can make that happen one of these days. But Toxic Crusaders Radiation Ranger, glow-in-the-dark figure, a very simple repaint, but a very cool one. And I did say when I unboxed that on the channel, I said, man, I'd want to get another one of these, kind of army build these. That's the perfect opportunity for me. You're army building, but it's a little bit different. I think that is really cool, so I will pick that up eventually. I got to think it'll be at the Entertainment Earth, Super 7 stores, things like that. Of course, you're checking out Super 7 store, use code KYLEP at checkout. And speaking of Super 7, their biggest announcement this week was finally the G.I. Joe Super 7 Reaction Cobra Mothership is out. $500, $495 plus shipping, a very expensive piece of business, no doubt about it. I did see this at San Diego Comic-Con. Very, very cool. If I was a little kid, I'd be like, man, oh man, get me this immediately. I remember as a kid kind of playing with your toys. I didn't really mix and match toys very often, but I would pretend the old school Kenner Millennium Falcon was the Cobra Mothership from time to time. You can see how that could kind of work out a little bit. But this is a big dog set right here. $500 is a heck of a lot of money. That is a big piece of change. I truly thought it'd be around $350. So another $150. Is it worth it? You got to vote with your wallet. You got to choose yourself. You got till early December to make your decision here. Of course, they have early backer stuff going on. If you back between 1012 and 1022, you can get a couple of parachutes if that is your thing. Of course, there's other tiers, things like that. It does come with a flight stand, which I think is very good. I'm glad there's a stand for this because you just hate this laying on the floor. You want it up off the air a little bit. It's got bombs. It's got an old school sticker sheet. You could have your dad come. I'd say, Dad, come here. I need to put you all these stickers on here. It'd just be like the old days. It does have that. It does come with 2 figures. Big announcement here, too, is some of these reaction figures, it looks like going forward, may have O-rings in them, old school G.I. Joe style. There's a lot of people I think that are going to be in for that there. And man, I'd love to do reaction. I really would. I was all in. If you remember when Reaction Joe started coming out, I was all in here on the channel. But the second they said, okay, we're going to make all these, green shirts and blue shirts, Cobra, G.I. Joe, and they're going to have different skin colors. One's a man, one's a woman, dark hair, blonde hair, all these difference. Well, in theory, I like that a lot, but as a reaction collector, I said, I'm out. I can't buy all these variants. They're $20 a pop. Adds up too much. Had to do a So Hard to Say Goodbye. And it truly was So Hard to Say Goodbye. And it was like a week long. I bought them all and like 2 weeks later sold them all. It was absolutely wild. And there's a lot of people that want their O-ring back. Oh, yeah. Shout out to the O-ring out there. They want those back. Now you're going to get your chance here. And I'm going to read. I'm going to go. Reading with Kyle. Story time with Kyle here. Now's your chance to join the Cobra ranks with this crowdfund vehicle inspired by the opening sequences of the animated series G.I. Joe Real American Hero. Custom built to scale with 3.75 reaction figures as well as vintage G.I. Joe reaction figures. Now that's key here, and so far it's early. I haven't seen any pictures, but man, oh man, when you announce this thing, if I was Super 7, if I was sitting in their boots, if I was sitting next to Brian Flynn and I had my arm around and said, Brian, you know what we need to do? Let's get a picture with old school classic Joes inside this thing. Because guess what? There's a lot of people that don't buy a reaction that's all in on the old school Joes. They may buy this to put with those. That's something somebody needs to see. I want to visually see my boy Flint jumping into that plane, taking on all the Cobra bad guys. That's what I want to see. Put that out on display because I think you'll get a lot of crossover. People saying, I don't want reaction, but I'm going to use this over there. So that is something I would like to see in the future. Maybe they'll do it by the time this video drops. We'll see what happens. But it does say the mothership is a massive 31 inches in diameter, comes with 3 vertical thruster display stands to display your ship as it begins to take flight. Explore the forbidding exterior of the ship and you'll find multiple hidden defense turrets, 16 light-up thrusters on the underside of the ship, and a posterior ramp. Now, the light is a game changer, and good friend of the channel, old Jeff George, he did point that out to me, and there's pictures there. So I'm a big, big fan of those thruster lights. I think that is really cool on a big thing like this. I would love to see the eyes light up on this as well. I think that would be really, really cool. Let's see. Lowers to deploy your Cobra allies. Remove the 5 exterior panels on the top of the ship to reveal the aircraft's awesome interior, which includes a command center, rotating giant globe, which is key, an armory to store arsenal of included weapons, a prison cell, always fun when you're a player out there, with functional handcuffs to keep captives secure, explosive storage on the other side of the posterior ramp to drop explosives on unsuspecting Joes, and more. Every vehicle needs a crew. The Cobra mothership will come with an exclusive Cobra Viper gunner and exclusive Cobra Viper gunner O-ring figure. So you get an O-ring and a reaction figure there. There's also a box set you can buy if you do pre-order this. You can buy more army builders to fill out the ranks of your ship. A lot's included, a lot more than meets the eye like a young Transformers, but it's definitely not for everybody. A $350, I was thinking about buying it. I'll just hang it from the ceiling or something. It'd be cool for me. I just don't think my wallet can swing $500, especially around the holidays coming up, because Elle and Emma, 2 kids that live in this house I live in, I don't know where they came from, but they probably want presents for Christmas, and I'll probably have to buy them. So you got to make some tough choices sometimes, and sometimes you got to choose presents for your kids. I don't know. It's wild, isn't it? But I like what they're doing here. I like the idea. I'm not a big fan of the price point, but not a lot of people is. But on face value, $500 seems a little bit better than it did once you read through everything and know what's going on. And of course, with Super 7, you got all those payment plans. I think there's even like a year-long payment plan. So that's not bad. If you break it up over a year, that doesn't hurt as bad. I just know if I was a player, if I was a kid right now, I would be salivating. This would be at the top of my Christmas list. I had the aircraft carrier. Let's say it's 1987. Kyle got the aircraft carrier for Christmas. It was an all-timer. Never forget that one. But then let's say we're knocking on the door of Christmas 1988. Mothership would be at the top of the list. I'd say, I need this. I need this. And I'd be just begging Santa. I'd say, Dad, we got 3 malls in town. Let's go visit every single Santa just to make sure. Just to make sure. That's what we would do right there. But very cool. I like what they're doing. It's going to be really interesting to see how this one does go. We're going to keep a close eye on it. We'll see how all the fuss goes down with this one. So much more to come on that one in the following weeks, but an interesting idea. It'll be interesting to see the payoff on this one and what the future holds for some of these G.I. Joe brands. So stay tuned to that. Speaking of crowd funds, we did finally get the Masters of the Universe announcement this week. I think they announced it on their Instagram. But we did hear that the Lady Slither Snake Lair is going to be the next crowdfund after Eternia. I am very thankful they just announced it. They didn't say, hey, pre-order's going up in a week or something, because, man, get us Eternia, then take some pre-orders. But guess what? You got 6 months till Eternia comes. What is time? Once again, start working. Let's get that thing going. Let's go through the motions, get this thing all finished up and ready to go, because we want to order it and we don't want to wait over a year like we had to for Eternia. Let's close up that window. Let's make it 6 to 8 months. How about it, Mattel? Let's do that. But we are going to get that one. That is what I voted for. I voted for that in the Fright Zone. I fully expect the Fright Zone could be something you could get at Target, Walmart, Amazon, like the Rattle or Snake Mountain or Castle Grayskull. I would like to see them go that direction with that one. Same thing with the Attack Track if they want to release those still. But Snake Lair is going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting sight in my display room. I'll have Eternia. I'll have Castle Grayskull. The Snake Lair, I guess, over here, and then I guess Snake Mountain over on that side. We'll see how that all ends up shaking out in the future. So stay tuned to that in future collection videos. But I'm here for it. That's what I wanted. It's another big play set, and we're all getting tough, and we're all getting tight on room. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned to that as well. We also saw this week, of course, it's kind of getting lost in the shuffle a little bit. I'm getting a little nervous. Is it going to fund? We know there's always a last-minute surge on all these crowdfunders out there. But, of course, Marvel Legends Hasbro Giant Man, is it going to make it through? We're down to the wire here. We just got about, 10 days, 12 days. Once again, what is days? What is time? We'll get that thing funded, but it's dangerous. It's still kind of middle of the road. It's not moving a lot. Like I said, we'll get a little bit of a surge at the end. Hopefully it does hit. I like big figures. I like giant figures. And man, the Marvel Legends team, the Star Wars team, at least Black Series side, they both need a couple of W's. They've had some tough L's. It's time to get back in the win column. They truly thought this Giant Man would do it. I gotta think it didn't blow away expectations. I think they truly felt it would have been funded by now. That's just me talking. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be down to the wire for this one, so we'll see. Once again, we'll see what happens there, so stay tuned. A couple of miscellaneous notes here before we finish up. Toy Collectors Magazine. I always go to my Barnes & Noble trying to find this because I was an old school magazine reader for the toy stuff, the Toy Fair magazine, things like that. I love that every month, and I love that they bring some excitement, and NECA and them partner a lot to announce some stuff. Well, this week, the cover of that one is the NECA Monsterizer. I guess it's an old school Remco thing. Gonna go with your Universal Monsters. It's kind of a big medical table, make my monster, all that kind of stuff. But I like this. I'm here for that. Of course, I love the NECA Universal Monsters stuff. I will be picking this one up. Hopefully my dad will come back to the channel and do that one here. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I'm sure he doesn't know anything about it, but it is in the Universal Monster theme, so hopefully he'll come over and we'll take a look at that thing at the end of the day. But that one will be shipping, or I guess we would think pre-order very soon. I don't know. I haven't read the article because I can't find the magazine at my Barnes & Noble, so there you go. Now we're going to move over, and I mentioned it earlier, Beastman, Omega Red, Mondo Collectibles. Man, an expensive day at the office with these Mondo figures, but they are so, so cool. I'm still trying to figure out how I display my Mondo figures. That is a tough, tough proposition. You get 6-inch figures, fairly easy to display, but when you're talking stuff like this, man, shelf height, and you can only get so many characters on a shelf, it's getting dangerous. It's getting dangerous, and I got to get that figured out sooner rather than later. But Omega Red, New York Toy Fair exclusive, up for pre-order right now at Mondo's site. Only 1,000 available. 1,000. So when they're gone, they're gone. So if you want Omega Red, jump in on that. But then the star of the show, and honestly could be the best Mondo figure ever, is Beastman, Harry Bipedal Creature. I am here for that all day long. Some absolute stunning, amazing glamour shots on that one. Had to pull the trigger. I had to do it. I needed it in my collection. I picked that up. I did get that on pre-order. Can't wait. I think it's February, March timeframe shipping. Man, that is going to be a game changer. I did get the Trap Jaw last week. I'm going to hopefully unbox that this week on the channel. But I'm all in on these Mondo Masters Universe figures. Panther right around the corner in November. Man, the hits just keep on coming. Expensive, expensive times. We'll see what happens with that one. We'll talk more about that one on the channel as well. And then I did see a little thing from our friends over at Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% all in-stock items. Anything over $79. Of course, ship free. But Entertainment Earth put a little dangle out there. It said October 31st, 10 a.m. Pacific. Say yo to this awesome launch from Secret Figures from Hasbro. Could this be Yo Joe? Could we see a G.I. Joe launch on 10/31? I guess we'll stay tuned to that, see what all the fuss is about. Of course, talk about that in the weeks to come here as well. So we did see that this week. So there it is. There's the toy news of the week. Some ups and downs. Not a huge week, but a very cool stuff this week. And I guess this week's all about the crowdfunding, really, at the end of the day. Some very interesting stuff, no doubt about it. But now we turn our attention to the album of the week. And in honor of good brother of the channel, Jeff George, I'm just dropping his name all the time. But this week, Jeff came into town. He flew into town. We went to the AEW wrestling show. Hopefully you saw the figure hunt video yesterday on the channel. You can see our week of toy hitting, our week of shenanigans, and a lot of you guys and gals out there definitely reached out to let me know I was in the front row at AEW Dynamite. We were there, Jeff pulling some strings, helping us out, calling in a friend. He got on the list, you could say, but he called in a friend there and got us some seats, so we got to thank that individual as well. But thank you for Jeff and hanging out in a fun week, an adventure week. Emma, L, my wife Angie, we had all kinds of fun this week. Even my parents got involved in some of the fun. But we did go down to Kansas City. We did that. Check out that whole thing. But of course, Jeff is a great quarterback. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I don't know if you're aware of that, or maybe not at all. But he is, of course, We Are Harlot. We Are Harlot, going to be the album of the week this week. Celebrating good brother Jeff George out there. And I don't know, you guys haven't heard this stuff, but he was nice enough to dangle a little carrot in my face. And he said, I'm going to play some of these albums that haven't been released. And will they see the light of the day? We'll see. But man, oh man, there's some amazing stuff. If you like that first album, it's a good album. You got to check it out. And a lot of you guys and gals, once again, don't want to leave the gals out. You know a lot of the songs on there because, of course, the theme of Monday Night Raw for many years is on that album as well. But check out We Are Harlot, and hopefully some of this stuff sees the light of day in the future because, boy, there's some really good stuff on those albums. And I was very thankful to get to hear that stuff. So, We Are Harlot, album of the week. Shout out to good brother Jeff George. Fun week. Let's do it again sometime. How about? There you go. So there it is. There is the album of the week. There is the toy news of the week. What are you excited for? What are you looking forward for? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. And then some. And we got even more content for you on Patreon. Patreon, your best way to support this channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the channel over there at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram and on Threads. So for the toy news of the week, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.